Shalom to the hopeful elect. Let's give all praise, glory, honor to Yahweh. Bahashem Yahweh Shah. Bahashem Racha Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the millstone. Also, peace and salutations to all the men putting their life on the line, week in and week out. Standing so boldly for the names of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shah. And for the hopeful elect, men, women, and children. Let's be doers of the word, not only listeners. To you again, I say Shalom. Do an improv too. Based on don't fall. Based on what they call these TikToks I just saw. Okay, let me get this.
In 1850, a female slave cost $40,000.
Okay.
1850, a female slave cost $40,000. A male, $60,000. But fancy girls, who were younger and mixed race, sold for up to $100,000. The priciest were skilled craftsmen. A blacksmith in 1859 New Orleans sold for a record $193,000. Slaves were expensive, so how did Americans afford them? The average white...
All right, for one, I like the fact that they're using AI to prove the truth. All right. Let's go here. Deuteronomy. This proves that the people that you name or you may call you wish that they're not the people of the Bible. Deuteronomy 28 and verse 68. This is the Lord speaking to the children of Israel, the true children of Israel, stating a curse that will be put upon them in the last days. And it states, Salakia, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt not see it no more again. All right, our homeland, our heritage. When we came over here on them ships, the individual we were at that time, we were not going to see that homeland again. Okay, we were going to die on this side, and then after generations, 3rd, 4th generation will be brought back to fulfill the other prophecies that were written down in this beautiful book called the Bible. Okay, continuing, it says, and there shall ye be sold. Where? There shall ye be sold. Where is there? Here in America. Here in the Western Hemisphere of the world. And so here it says you will be sold unto your enemies. All right, because our people don't understand. Okay, perhaps if our people was to sit back and really look at, our condition over here on this side of the world, they will see that we have enemies. But based on talking points, philosophies, everybody, what the fuck? Everybody getting along, everybody sharing, loving, and caring, and Christianity, of course, Christianity being the main focal point of today's peaceful society, peaceful movement of society. That fake, false, phony love everybody as yourself doctrine, as how they push it. Not going deep into the scriptures or to the will of the Heavenly Father, how he's a separatist, how he separated the nations from the beginning. how he said he doesn't change. Even today, he's just been long suffering and seeing how the thing's going to play out. Even Yahushua said in the Gospels. Let me get it. Let me get it. An enemy has done this. Matthew, yeah. Matthew 13 and verse 28, and it states, I feel like I gotta open that up to get the context. Matthew 13, and I'll start at verse 23. No, verse 24. Another parable put he forth unto them, saying, the kingdom of heaven is likened unto a man which sowed good seed in his field. But while men slept, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat and went his way. And what this goes into is how the seed of a man, which is the progenitor of a nation or a race of people, that seed has been spread amongst the garden of Israel. All right? Meaning our women. Esau, Edom, and all these other heathen nations have polluted our women with their seed. So our people come out looking, you have some of our people that look like Edomites. No, hold on, did I say that right? Let me say it the other way around. You have some people that are Edomites that come out looking like their mothers, which look like the children of Israel. Because a lot of the children take on the features, the skin tones, and the mannerisms of their mother. Okay? But the seed that was planted in them is planted by Esau Edom, who he calls himself the so-called white man on a general level. But we know there's no such thing as white or black or yellow and brown and orange, all these colors to determine a nation. A nation is determined by the seed of their fathers. So, let me go back to it again. Where was I? So, 20, what, 4? 23. The kingdom, all right? Okay, yeah, 24. Another parable put he forth unto them, saying, the kingdom of heaven, which is the Israelites, starting with Yahushua, is likened unto a man which sowed good seed in his field. Seed being the sperma of the sperm of a man. They say, but while men slept, his enemy, Esau, Edom, and these other heathen nations, came and sowed tares among the wheat and went his way. During slavery, when you see this happen, these things, during this time, there was a lot of mixing of the races or the nations, a lot of mixing of the races of the nations. All right. Verse 25, it says, but while men slept, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat and went his way. But when the blade was sprung up and brought forth fruit, then appeared the tares. Also, the tares represent these other heathen nations, especially starting with Esau, Edom. Okay, it say, so the servants of the householder came and said unto him, Sir, did not thou sow good seed in thy field? From whence then have it tares? He said unto them, an enemy has done this. The servants the servant said unto him, Wilt thou then that we go and gather them up? But he said, Nay, lest ye gather up the tares, ye root up also the wheat with them. Okay? Because as is written, to judge righteous judgment and not according to appearance. We don't know, by the seed. These records have been kept from us. Who's who, what's what, doctor, all kind of hospitals been burnt down. All type of information has been misconstrued. At this point in time, we can only tell who an individual is through the spirit, through discerning the spirit. By Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. And that's by those that agree with the word of the Lord and those that reject the word of the Lord, pretty much. Because you got even 2/3 of our people that claim to be, they reject the knowledge of the Lord. They gonna hold on to being black. They're gonna hold on to being Americans or Puerto Ricans or Jamaicans and Cubans and Mexicans and Haitians. They're gonna hold on to being these false names, right? Africans, you got niggas in America claiming to be Africans and shit. So anyway, it's but he said, lest while you gather up the tares, ye root up also the wheat with them. Let both grow together into the harvest, and in the time of harvest I will say to the reapers, which are the angels, gather ye together first the tares, and bind them in bundles to burn them. But gather the wheat into my barn. And the tares are going to be those that's going to sit here during the lake of fire, during the process of the lake of the fire. While the barn is pretty much signified, it's like a signifier of the chariots. The ones that's going to be the elect of Israel that's going to make it into the chariots. At first they might look like, before they get changed, they might look like all these other nations, all these other heathen nations, because the children of Israel, the sons of the Most High, have also planted seeds inside these other heathen nation women. All right, they also planted seeds, but upon our hearts and our minds and our bodies being changed, the Lord's going to correct whatever deficiency that it is, because we're going to have glorious bodies. Bodies that's not a curse, like the plague, like the leprosy, anybody out here that has that look on them, because anybody could look like those. They have a plague. You even have the so-called albino that has blue eyes, red hair, void of dark pigment type situation, right? Okay. Let's see, gather to my barn. That's all I want to get from there. And then I want to go back to this video because it details how a lot of people are being controlled.
In 1850, a female slave cost $40,000, a male $60,000. But fancy girls, who were younger and mixed race, sold for up to $100,000.
And what does that look like, right? That's like a so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American. You think that's made up for no reason? You think what you see before you right now is no reason? And you wonder why our women, especially our Negro women, they was fixed up like this. That's why our women, y'all gotta understand, when y'all get those weaves and all that bullshit in your head, this is what the white man set up for you. This is how the white man made you hate yourself. Okay? This is how he had you. And look at this nigga right here. Look at all them. They head laid down too. You know that? That's stringy bullshit. But anyway, Negro, Latino, Native American Indian woman. This is not a mistake, yo. But anyway.
The priciest was Skilled Craftsman, a blacksmith in 1859 New Orleans, sold for a record $193,000. Slaves were expensive, so how did Americans afford them? The average white man earned about $500 a month. It would take the average man 17 years of saving every penny, which was clearly impossible. Elite.
Hold on. Before they go into the elite craftsman. Elite. That's it. That's what most of it boiled down to. This is what most of this history boils down to. That's what you have going on right now in America. You got the elite Edomites putting a what Trump called it, making America great again. MAGA. This is how you make America great again. You put all nations, including their own nation, putting them in a form of not just control but slavery, ultimate control. Ultimate control. We're better than you. That devil is showing his horns again. He's showing his horn. He's the ones that the Lord has want him to be swept off their feet or to be taken by him. They're already in his pocket. All right. This is the time when the Lord's going to show who's who and what's what. Who's who and what's what. Let's go. So.
Craftsmen earned more, but slave owners drove them out of business, as a slave performed the same skilled labor for zero pay.
And who's that? Who drove these so-called Edomites? I mean, no, these Edomites, the so-called white man that was, elite craftsmen. Who drove them out? The same ones that's doing it right now. But instead of Negroes, what they using? Robots. It's a cold demonstration. Like one of the dudes I be watching, man, he always says shit. It's a cold demonstration how Esau Edom coming down, man. Let's get this, man. Let's go here. This fucking devil, man. Oh. And that's why a lot of these Edomites, they about to go off the chain. They about to go off the Richter scale. They about to crash the fuck out. You thought you seen niggas crashing out? Oh, just wait. Just wait. Ecclesiastes chapter 14. This is chapter 14, verse 9. It says, A covetous man's eye is not satisfied with his portion, and the iniquity of the wicked drieth up his soul. This goes to Esau Edom, the Amalek, the small hats. This is the head of the generation of the head of the nation of Slakia, the head of the nation of Esau Edom, the Amalekites, the ones Yahweh Shem Yahshua say you're gonna have war with from generation to generation, just simply because based on their wickedness, man. And the Lord is opposed to wickedness. Right? You say a wicked eye envies his bread, and he is a niggard at his own table. At his own table. Your own table, your own house, your own family, amongst your own family members, amongst your own people. This man has been doing this to his own people for the longest. since they came out of the caves. Alexander, his 4 generals, how they was cutthroat toward each other. And that same gang banging mentality has spread out into the whole world. Because Job 9:24, the Lord gave the earth into the hand of the wicked. Esau, Edom. That's all I want to get from there. Let me see what else they got to say. Let's get it.
Skilled labor for zero pay. This meant 95% of white families never owned slaves. The ones that did hated all poor people, which would technically make them less racist.
Yeah, you gotta laugh at that. Because in a sense, what they trying to do is make it seem like they're trying to keep, a lot of Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians dumb. Even though not all white people own slaves, a lot of these, Joe Sixpacks, these poor, poor Edomites, they raped, robbed, and killed as well. They raped, robbed, and killed as well. Amalek wanted to set up something, and he probably let, he probably let some people get some of their people get judged. They never really had a right to judgment. They'd be in and out of the judicial system. They never really paid exactly what they need. They're not in trouble like other men. They were never in trouble like other men, even though they wasn't getting paid like the higher ups, which is the same thing that's going on right now, man. The same exact thing. You think your presidents and all the bankers and everything like that, you think that these low budget Edomites, you think they don't see that shit now? They starting to wake up to it too. So now that Civil War thing is about to pop off. That insurrection thing is about to pop off. Let me get that. Matter of fact, I'm gonna close out on that perhaps. 2nd Esdras, chapter 15. Let's go here to 14. It says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein." Right, that goes back to, let me get that. Revelation 12. Revelation 12. This one. And 12. It says, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth, the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you." That devil is talking about Esau, Edom. The devil meaning deceiver. And he's deceived the whole world. Right? Devil.
Strong's G 1228. Diabolos. Diabolos.
Right. Diabolos meaning prone to slander, slanderous, accusing falsely. Right. Accumulator, false accuser, slanderer, applied to a man who, by opposing the cause of the Most High, may be said to act the part of the devil. Right. You see that? Applied to a man who, by opposing the cause of the Most High, may be said to act the part of the devil or to side with him. That's Esau, Edom. The accuser, the slanderer, the false accuser, even better, the false accuser. What happens to a false what happens to a false accuser, right? You say bear false witness. All right. Proverbs chapter 6, verse 16. These 6 things do the Lord hate. Yea, 7 are an abomination unto him. A proud look, a lying tongue, and hands that shed blood. A heart that devises wicked imaginations, feet that be swift to run to mischief, a false witness that speaketh lies, and he that soweth discord among brethren. And that's Esau Edom all day. That's Esau Edom. These are the characteristics of Esau Edom. That's why, on Malachi chapter 1, the Lord said, I love Jacob, but I hated Esau. That would just go back to. That's why. What else? What else? Proverbs 19:5. A false witness shall not be unpunished, and he that speaketh lies shall not escape. So Esau Edom got his judgment day coming. This man has got to get it taken out of his previous role of being ruler over the earth. What's that? How I go? The wages of sin is death. And this man has accumulated so many sins over his terms of rulership to the point where it's coming to an end. But let me get back to that Revelation. All right. Revelation 12:12, it says, Therefore, rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to ye inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil, Esau Edom, right? A man is taking on the spirit of the devil. It's come down unto you, having great wrath, because he know if he have a short time left, a short time to be in rulership. Go back here. Drop that down and go back here. What was I at? 14. Yep. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. And that's what's going on. From Chicago to Philly to California, New York. Hey, we're in a very exciting time right now, and it should be a time where we dig more into the spirit, pray more, fast more. Just get your spirits right for what we about to go into. Lord, wouldn't we be a part of that elect number and we stay faithful to the end? With that, I'm going to say, Call Halayim La Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, Bahashim Rakhakodash, and Shalom to the hopeful elect of Israel. Till next time, endure Yahweh Yahushua Ratazah. Endure.